Today we'll create this isometric detail, taking our 3D model, turning it into an isometric, detailing it using notation like dimensions, as well as other custom notation. Having notes is a great first step, but having clear visuals to give an illustration of what's going on will communicate our ideas so much better. First up, we'll want to open up a model in the 3D view. From here, we'll want to right-click in the open space and go to 3D projection settings. We're currently in perspective mode. We want to change this to an isometric type of view. To do this, we just need to go up to parallel projections, and this dialog box here will pop up. From here, we'll click on this little box just here. We'll make sure that we've got isometric selected, and then we'll want to position our camera so it angles down towards our scene. Now, before we hit OK, we'll want to also make sure that the altitude of the sun is at 45. So the sun is going to be pointing down at a 45-degree angle. And within sunlight itself, I've currently got the sunlight to 55 and the ambient light to 90. This can make a massive difference on how light or dark your actual 3D model shows up. So from here, we'll go OK and OK. From here, we're always best off saving our view. So if I right-click and go Save as View, we'll give this a custom name. We'll call this Electrical Detail, and we'll go Create. And from here, it's going to show up in our view map right down at the bottom, just here, Electrical Plan. We're always best off saving our view so that if we accidentally pan across, we can just double-click in this view just here, and it brings us straight back. From here, we'll want to right-click and go New 3D Document from 3D. We'll call this one Electrical Plan with Notes, and we'll go Create. From here, we've got our 3D document. We'll want to right-click and Save as View, and we'll go Create. So now, in our view map, just over here, right down the bottom, we're going to find Electrical Plan with Notes. So if we double-click on this one, it's going to show up this view just here. To change the visual style of the 3D document, we'll want to go up to this top panel just here, right-click, and go to 3D Document Settings. This will bring up our dialog box just here. To set this up so it matches our previous view, we'll just want to go to Uncut Elements, this one just here, and we'll go to Surface. And we'll turn off these overrides just here. So it's going to show us how we had it on that previous 3D. From here, we'll go OK. Hey, there we go. That's looking better. So from here, we want to start adding our dimensions. On our left-hand side, we'll just go to our dimension tool just here. We'll zoom in onto our first little detail just here. We'll click once, the bottom corner node, and again, we'll click on this floor point just here. So now if I just click in that middle point just there, it's going to create our dimension. Now the text is currently massive on this dimension, and that is because we're currently at 1 to 100. Typically I have all of my text set to 2 millimeters in height. So that we can put more information onto this 3D document, we'll right click and go to our view settings, and we'll want to go to scale, and we'll change this to 1 to 50. 1 to 50 is going to make it larger. So if we now go to OK, our text is going to get smaller because it's a small part versus the overall size of the actual 3D document itself. Alrighty, now if I select my dimension, not the text itself, but the actual dimension, we'll have these options just up here. I'm going to select this one just here, above line, just so that we haven't got that cut out for the dimension point just there. Next up, I'm going to go Control E to rotate my text just here. I'll select this one, and I want this to be just in between this dimension point, just there, so it makes it nice and clear. I'll select my dimension. I'll go up to the settings, and I'm going to change this to custom height, and we'll go OK. The witness lines are going to get massive, so to change this, I'll select the middle point again, and I'm going to drag this out just slightly. So if we say go 1, that's made it quite shorter. If I drag it out, say 10, from here, I'm going to drag this back a little bit further. I can do the same thing with this switch just above. Clicking both points, double click, and then we've got our second dimension. To match in the style, I'm going to rotate this text as well and lift that just up underneath the witness line. From here, I'm going to go to the polyline tool. I'll select one point of this switch just here, and I'll select the other point of the dimension, and I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this to a fine dash just here. I'll go Control D, I'll tap Control once and duplicate this down to our bottom one, and same thing for our dimension just over here. We'll repeat this process for the rest of the dimensions. We want these lines a little bit finer, so we'll just go to floor line fine, this one just here. Hey, that looks a bit better. I've just used the text tool, so if I type in number 1 and I click out, then from here, if I just go to the arc and circle, I'll click in the center just until I hit this point out here, double click, and then from here, I'll go to the fill tool. I'll hold in spacebar and until that little blue rim goes around the circle, and I'll click once. I'll hold in Shift and click Tab just once so I can select the fill. And I'm going to change this to a yellow. And I'm going to make this a foreground fill. Now that we've got that solid, I'm going to change this to white. This detail is actually a new addition to my template, which has a bunch of stuff that I typically copy and paste from project to project. Saves a bunch of setup time. If I just need a kitchen for a 3D, if I need to grab a balustrade, a stair, or a window. If you haven't already, I'd highly recommend setting up a template like this. And if you want to skip the setup, you're more than welcome to check out mine, which I'll have a link to in the description. I update it with stuff that I find useful in actual projects. Saves so much time. I've made the template itself a one-time purchase. Anyone who's purchased the template gets all future updates to the template for free. One of my favorites in the template is this landscaping plan just here, which we actually cover step by step in this video just over here. Go on and check it out.